So you have to give a presentation or a talk and you don't know where to start. In this video today, I'm going to share with you at least 3 ways that you can use to be able to start your talk or presentation. Right out of the gate, number 1 is to say who you are, the problem that you solve, and why are you the one to solve it. This is by far my favorite way to be able to address an audience. Of course, you have to do a little bit of research ahead of time and know who's in your audience, know what their problems are, and know what you're solving with your talk. Number 2 is to compliment the audience. Last night I spoke to the Women's Network at Boston University, my alma mater, and I complimented the audience for showing up on a Monday evening at 8 o'clock, and what a beautiful group of diverse women that had showed up. Compliment the audience on their accolades or their acumen or, how beautiful they look tonight. So number 3, and my top favorite, is to tell a story. I learn by example. When someone's explaining something to me that's too abstract and I'm not quite getting it, I'm like, well, give me a specific example. So I like to do the same for my audience. The opening question last night when I was speaking to the young ladies at BU was, what is it about your journalism career that's translated into your entrepreneurial career? And I started by saying that because I've always been in a breaking news situation, I now know that live TV leaves you very little give to be able to react. So in the hours leading up to, I make sure that I have a true and road-tested scenario B and scenario C already figured out, already laid out, and I've road tested it to make sure it works. So if it looks like plan A is going south, I can very quickly pull the trigger on plan B or C. I'll give you an example. I had a speaker that I had lined up for tonight's module that I'm teaching my first masterclass. She wasn't feeling well, and so she ended up canceling last night. Of course, that threw me into a panic for a few minutes, but guess what? I spend the majority of my time networking with all kinds of speakers every single day. And lucky for me, I had already put deposits in the bank with another speaker who had spoken on the topic of networking. I emailed her last night, she emailed me right back, and I have a speaker lined up for today. But if I hadn't laid the groundwork for that relationship to be built, I don't know that she would have responded to my email with the speed and alacrity with which she did. But because I've been putting deposits into that bank, I'd been networking with her, I wrote her an endorsement, I would comment on the posts that she would put up on LinkedIn. We built a relationship, and so it was very easy for her to say yes. So that is how my journalism has fed into my entrepreneurial career. A lot of those skills transcend, but you see how I use an example as a way to explain to the young students that your skills from one career to another do translate. You just got to figure out how. All right, the final piece that I'm going to leave you with, and this is something that I love to do long before I ever take the stage. Obviously, this is in person, but this is something you can do virtually as well. I take the time to walk around the room, introduce myself individually to people, and ask them what brought you here tonight. What's top of mind for you? What's keeping you up at night? So that when I do get to the stage, I can make sure that everything that I'm saying is tailored to what I heard the audience tell me is top of mind. Just remember, the easiest thing to do is to take inventory of the story that you're telling yourself and start to develop a new story about the kind of public speaker that you are. The hardest thing to do, and I got this from my mentor, Les Brown, is to believe it. Believe it. You're an amazing public speaker. Hey, I'm about to teach my public speaking masterclass tonight. There's 1 spot left. If you're that last minute kind of person and you want to enroll, you can just email me at info@ladydrinks.com. It's a very small container and cohort of women, and I promise you that you're going to learn a lot about how to be a better public speaker.